There we go. Watch the ball.
Yeah. So, Kyle, what were you saying earlier
So
that I was doing weird?
I think two of the biggest things, one, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to resetting or really any consistent shot, and you had a pretty bad habit of it, is one, when you hit your shot is either going here and then doing this kind of swing on it, almost like you're hitting a topspin forehand when you reset, and you saw it on the very last one there. Or two, a lot of times you hit it and then you'd end up turning your paddle here like this. Now, usually the cause of this is your paddle is too closed.
Yeah.
And what that means is the only way your brain can realize, oh, I got to get this ball over, is either one, to swing upwards on it,
Yeah.
or two, to try to turn your paddle and turn your wrist. Unfortunately, with how fast the ball goes and how difficult it is to actually reset from this position, how difficult it is to time it, when you try to turn your paddle or you try to swing, you end up mishitting it more than anything else.
Yeah.
So when we reset, we almost always want to have our paddle face be consistent through the whole shot. What I mean by that is, let's say I'm resetting a forehand, I'm not going to come here and swing or here and turn it up. I'm setting my paddle open early, and then from here, I'm only going forward. The ball is almost always being hit in the same trajectory that my paddle is facing. So if my paddle is facing this, my swing is completely the same as the way the paddle is directed. That will make it so, one, even if you miss hit off not dead center, you'll have enough force going through with the ball sitting on your paddle long enough, you can still kind of direct the ball where you want it to go.
Yeah.
But two, it will really limit the amount of mishits you hit where you're trying to kind of swing off.
Yeah.
And now there is a time and a place where we will swing on resets, and that's almost exclusively when it's no longer a half volley. So if instead of having to hit it right there on the half volley, if instead that ball, let's say it sits, then you can come in and swing. So right there, totally fine to swing, you have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But once it goes faster and you try to swing, just like that, you just put your paddle there and just let it bounce. It makes it a lot easier. Nice.
Oh, that's better.
Nice. 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 Now, one thing that's starting to happen that I'm going to change is a lot of times, and you'll probably see it in the footage, you have a tendency to, when you hit, you almost lift up on one leg like this as you do it. I want you to feel less of you coming up as you reset, more of as you lift forward. So my feet are still staying on the ground. So when I hit this ball, instead of here and coming up or here and lifting off one, I'm here and I'm still lifting forward. My chest is still staying forward. And this becomes a bigger thing when it comes to an actual game, where now we can use the momentum of our body. We hit it, and now our body weight is leaning forward. We can step forward and get closer to counter. Because realistically, we only want to ever have to hit one good reset before we can go in and attack the next one.
Yeah.
Hold
So that was my too closed of a paddle face there.
Yep. Nice. 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 On.
Yeah, it feels a lot better.
Nice. Nice. There we go. Take a step back for me real quick. Watch that ball behind you. There we go. Sorry. Nice. I bet. Nice. Nice. Hold it. Here we go. So, for example, that one, you're here, and watch the camera back, you'll see your paddle ended all the way up here in front, almost like you're swinging flat.
I didn't even realize I did that.
Even if you're going forward, even if you're going to swing a little bit, look at what my paddle does. Instead of being here and then ending here, I'm hitting, and my paddle is still staying with the same face all the way through. That way, even if I get caught resetting behind me, my paddle still stays the same all the way through. I'm not resetting and then letting that angle shift. Even if it's with the power of my arm, I want my face to be completely consistent all the way through the entire shot.
Oh, the face is going forward.
Yes.
I see. Okay. So we're not breaking the angle.
Exactly.
I'm not slapping the ball. Instead, I'm pushing the ball as if I was pushing a person.
Exactly.
I wouldn't push the person by slapping them. I would push them by doing like that. Oh.
Perfect. Here we go.
There we go. Oh, now I need to open it. Okay.
Nice. Oh. One second, I gotta tie my shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, one more thing I want you to do now.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're here and it looks almost like you're swaying into it as you hit.
Yeah.
I want you to start a little bit wider. And for right now, at least, because I'd say your tendency is to really over lean into it,
Yeah.
I want you to hit it and then stay completely stable over your right leg after you hit your forehand.
Okay.
So instead of here and kind of lifting, I want you to hit and then just stay stopped afterwards.
Okay.
Nice. Fine with it. Nice. Oh, close. Nice. 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 Fine with it. Fine with it.
I got a few balls too.
All right, all right. Nice. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Nice. Nice. All right. Perfect. Fine with it. And so I think if you look back at the last one, that was when
Yeah.
you're here, and then you really shifted your paddle angle as you hit it. The secret's gonna be starting more open so that you don't feel the need to get to here. If you feel like your paddle has to be this open to get that ball over the net,
Yeah.
you should already be started here with your paddle instead of starting here every time and then thinking, oh, this one's a little lower, I now need to turn as I swing. If I think, oh, it's already lower, let's start with my paddle more open to begin with.
Yeah.
Having too open of an initial paddle position is a lot easier to deal with
Yeah.
because now the ball might go a little bit higher, but now we can adjust a lot easier just by leaning forward to keep our paddle down. Compared to if we were starting here, the only real way to get this ball over the net is either to swing up or to turn our paddle fast.
Right.
Oh, ungettable. Hold on. Very big paddle turn there.
That was a big paddle turn?
Yes,
See,
that
I
was
don't even
one
realize
where
I'm
you
doing
ended
that.
completely horizontal afterwards.
Interesting.
Nice. Fine with it. Just needed to give it a little more. Watch the ball. There we go. Fine with it. So right there is a good point of if we're not swinging much and if we're not putting a lot of force into
Yeah.
it, where's this grip going to break down?
Probably-
If we're giving the ball almost no force whatsoever, we're just here and just barely lifting into it.
Yeah.
The way it won't go over is if they hit a really soft ball to us. We're
Yeah.
not hitting it very hard. If you give me a softball and I'm just hitting it kind of like this,
Oh, yeah.
without these big swings
Yeah.
going through or through, it's going to be very hard to get this ball over the net. And so one of the great things about that is really, if the ball's going slower to us, we have more time to adjust and change what our swing is going to be. It's a lot easier to be ready and be prepared for them to hit a good shot at you,
Yeah.
a hard shot, and then when you see a slower ball, be ready to adjust and then start the swing. And I like that for this drill, you're trying to do it every single time. But a lot of times when I give you this kind of, you hit a great reset and I pick it up from here and it's a really slow ball, instead of doing that shot, you're going to do exactly what you actually used to do, which is when you have the time and the ball can sit, just hitting that normal reset you like.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to kind of judge it is the ball have a lot of time to travel after the bounce?
Right.
So really, if you're hitting it right as it bounces, then you probably don't have time to do a real swing, probably don't have time to do it.
Right.
But if this ball is here and it has time to bounce, you can go in and you can swing as much as you want. It's going to be a little bit easier. You can even be a little bit more aggressive, might even threaten an attack. So that's generally going to be why you missed the last one. It was just so slow and you gave it very little. When it is that slow, you have to give it a little more.
A little bit more. Okay.
Nice. 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 That was perfect. Oh, all good. There you go. One more, and then we'll grip water. Nice. Nice. Perfect. Nice, and then you adjust it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fine.
that feels so different than how I normally reset. Like, when I normally reset, this was off camera, but Chiron was saying that in my games, my weakest zone is this transition zone, and it would be like a 50-50. Either I hit like a good reset and I'll get in, or I'd either pop it up or go straight into the net. But this was way more consistent, way safer, where any one of those that you hit me, that I'm resetting, I feel like I could just come up.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things is, one, you're way more consistent with it. Your body looks far more in control.
Yeah.
Anytime we're hitting really slow shots, we rarely ever want to be moving fast. We don't want to be coming in here like this if we're trying to hit a reset.
Yeah.
But I think really, just from today where I've seen a huge amount of improvement, before, every time I got a ball behind your forehand, it would end up being something like this or something like this, and it would almost, I'd say over 50% of the time, be into the net or a high pop-up. Now, I think especially on the ones that are behind you, you have your paddle here and you're actually resetting those, even sometimes a lot better than the ones that are in front of you.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're out here, you can force your angle to be set up a lot easier here than here, where now you have to kind of angle your wrist up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think, one, your resets are way more consistent, and then we're just going to go to your backhand too and get more used to it, but I think it's already way more controlled than it was.
Yeah. When we first started this was also off camera, but when we first started doing this drill, I was hitting most of my resets with my backhand. Even when it's on the right side of my body, going like that. And you're like, okay, this is target your forehand because you're missing most of them on your forehand. When do you know when to switch between a backhand reset and a forehand reset?
So the real answer to that question is it depends on the player, it depends on their grip, and it depends what they're comfortable with. For example, I play with a pretty forehand dominant grip.
Yeah.
So what that means is it's pretty hard for me to open my forehand, especially up here. If you can see, my wrist is very difficult to get it to open.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if you ever watch me reset, ever watch footage, I'm resetting very heavy backhand from pretty much here all the way to here, and then only when I get outside of my body am I switching to here. Now, this is going to be a lot of personal preference based on most people. If you are used to resetting one hand, and most people probably reset backhand one hand more, I'd say from here, anywhere where you can keep your wrist to the right of your paddle pretty well, once you start getting in line with your wrist and your paddle here on a one-hand backhand, so if you can go here and reset, awesome. Once you start getting here, your wrist is no longer locked in this position. It's now very easy for your wrist to get loose. Compared to here, I can keep my wrist locked and my hand loose. So even though I'm not gripping the paddle tight, my wrist is locked in position, I can still reset it. Compared to once I get here or trying to reset here, now you can see it's very difficult to not let my wrist get involved, and that's what's gonna pop up the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'd say it's right about here, and then from here you can go to a forehand.
Yeah.
The other thing that's gonna change it is based on really who your opponent is and where the ball is. For example, if this person's hitting a forehand reset, I'm gonna be pretty much hitting only backhands here like this, because anything here, backhand, anything here, I can hit backhand. And really anything that goes farther than pretty much right here,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let my partner over here reset the ball instead.
Yeah.
So I might be here looking to reset, and then once it gets past here, instead of trying to flip my paddle, I'll let them get it. And something
Yeah.
you'll see when things get really bad, when they're hitting like overheads or balls here, you don't have time to be neutral and then switch. You have to decide early, am I gonna reset with a backhand or forehand? And then you
Yeah.
actually have to do something like this. You just don't have the time to go from here and react. So instead of being here and having to guess one way or the other,
Yeah.
you pretty much fully commit, and then you just have to deal with it whichever way it goes. And a lot of that is court positioning based on where the ball is, but you can really adjust to make it your life a lot easier. And the
Yeah.
other thing I was telling you off camera is something that happens as you play better and better players is once people know how to aim, and you're a good player, if I'm standing here and resetting, where would you aim at me if I give you a volley?
Feet.
At my feet. I know that. Even if theoretically you could hit it here, I know you probably wouldn't want to go that high. It's going to be a little bit easier for me to reset. So when I know I've given them a little bit of a high ball, not even an overhead, but a ball that they can volley
Yeah.
at around net height, instead of being up here like this, where theoretically they might hit, I'd rather be set up already low, already covering my feet, and then from here it's far easier to adjust and lift into the ball here, lift into the ball here, and now I can cover everything that's still this high compared to if I start here. In order to get these balls that are low, I now have to hinge my back to get down.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things you can do in this sport, because watch what my paddling is if I'm here and I'm ready to reset, once you hinge your back, your angle of your paddle will always change.
Yeah.
Compared to if I move my legs and keep my back steady, the angle of my paddle will always stay the same. So I prefer to usually be a little bit lower than I need to be, and then I can lift up into it if I need to. Let's say it's a volley, I'm here, I can lift, and then my body weight will pull me forward for the next one.
Yeah. Can I see you hit a couple of resets?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh my.
You do use your backhand more.
Yeah, I use it on pretty much everything.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of forehand resets.
Especially, really, I forehand reset only if it's way out here or if it's coming cross court. But
So-
I'll intentionally hit some forehand resets.
For me, do you think I should just stick with backhand then?
Well, one of the reasons I can do it is because if you look at my grip, my
Yeah.
backhand is so open, especially if I just hold my paddle normally, this is what feels natural. You see how open my paddle is?
Yeah.
So I just have to put this here to do this.
Yeah.
And now if someone's hitting really hard at you, you do have to pretty much just commit to being here. But for you, since your grip isn't as open and you have to come here, it's a lot harder for you to lock your wrist out here.
Yeah.
And so one, you can shift into it a little bit more to help you, to give you more range. But still, once you get past here, you probably have to hit a forehand reset.
Okay. Can't end a point against you. Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Finally, he misses. What was that, 1 out of 30? Like, this is a game I'm like giving up.
Oh, got me with the slow one.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, he's handling my fast ones. What
Watch ball, Ed.
What if I hit him with some feet shot? Some ones that bounce. Ooh, the feet. Okay, let's try that again.
Ah, too
Yeah, that's
fast.
still like 1 out of every 20.
I'll give you a high one to hit it hard at me too. There you go. Oh, that's too good, Ed.
Yeah, yeah, I have to go for angles, otherwise you're so consistent.
Nice.
Whoa.
Nice. Now I'm getting caught moving too much. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Here's a high one. Nice spot.
Nice.
Do it again.
Forehand side.
There we go. Nice. It's too good.
You just have like 20 lives. It's crazy.
Nice.
Nice. Do you want to do dinks again?
Sure.
You were killing me on those dinks.
Which ones?
The forehand, like the ones we started off with, you were just absolutely slaying me.
Oh. We were in front here and here. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Nice. Oh. Such a good spot.
Thank you.
On a volley.
Oh, you want?
On a volley with that angle, like I don't think people understand how hard that is to do without popping it up. Like that, it's already pushing me off.
Yeah.
And you're hitting out of the air, so I almost have no time to react. Oh, that's in. Crazy ATP.
Lucky, lucky.
I feel like I'm slowly getting squeezed by that. Like you keep pushing me out here. Even if I know it's coming, I still have to react to that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tough. I think something that you can do, and I think that's something that's actually, all of what we're talking about is less of reset form and more of just half volley form. And so everything we talked about there,
Yeah.
you can do the exact same thing when half volley dinking.
Yeah.
And so for example, a lot of times when you miss, watch the footage back, you'll see you're doing something like this, where you try to snap your wrist back, or especially on your forehand. Same thing here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the exact same on the half as hitting a pretty much a reset dink here as it is hitting a reset back here.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of, they're hitting a much slower ball to you, so you don't need to give it as much. So it's gonna be the exact same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
And really the best way to stop me from doing this is, one, mix up the direction. And so sometimes going to my forehand, sometimes not. And then two, the other easiest thing is to take a ball out of the air, because
Yeah.
it takes away my timing in order to just kind of sit here and just do this over and over again. Once you take a ball out of the air, now it's a lot harder for me to kind of sit here and do this because my timing's messed up. I have to worry about you if you speed it up at me, compared to if you're taking half volleys.
Yeah.
One of the great things about it is it's very defensive, very consistent, but you're never ever going to speed up off the half volley.
Yeah.
It's just not really possible. It's so low. Other than just an absolute surprise speed up, it's mostly always going to just be a reset. So I can just sit here and you can watch. I'm
Right.
literally doing this and just kind of standing out here looking to keep resetting and taking it out of the air. Once you take it out of the air once or twice, or if you speed it up out of me out of the air, it's a
Yeah.
lot harder for me to just kind of stand here like this.
Huh.
That's why taking stuff out of the air makes the game so much easier.
Yeah, I need to extend a little bit more to do that.
Nice. Nice. Not bad.
Yeah, dude, I could feel this. I'm just slowly getting squeezed by a viper or a boa constrictor.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's the difference between like if I drill with some like 4-5s or something, I feel way less pressure and I feel less angled. Like you with your dinks, I feel like I'm getting moved and my time is being taken away from me. Whereas if I drill with like 4-5s, I have more time to kind of execute my shots. But with you, I feel like I play so much worse because I don't have as much time to do the shots that I am comfortable with.
You are 100% right. And you have no idea how relatable that is for me right now, because I feel the exact same way when I play against like 6-0s and 6-5s. Like the tournament I just played,
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't hit an aggressive dink for the life of me because everything is so unattackable and so much pressure.
Yeah.
It makes it way harder to hit aggressive dinks. Then you get stuck in that pattern. And one thing you have to do is you just have to be committed to regardless of the level you're playing against, especially because you're like, oh God, they're just doing so much with it. I got to be so defensive. I got to be so patient.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to go for aggressive dinks.
Go for
because it makes them be a lot, and it doesn't have to necessarily be attacks, but it makes it harder for them to just sit here and keep pressuring you and squeezing you until you eventually error.
Yeah.
I think it's
So-
probably the same for everybody. I'm sure 3-0s feel it about 3-5s, 3-5s feel about 4-0s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you hit a bunch of backhand dinks with me.
Yeah.
But after that, we're chilling.
Oh God. All right, destroy me. Boy. Oh, that's a good spot. I need to attack that one. Yeah, you're able to take so many out of the air. I'm like, my margin for not letting you hit it out of the air is so small.
Yeah, it does. It helps to be 6'2" with a 6'6" wingspan, but it is just me reaching so far over.
Yeah. like you take it out of the air, but you also get so much angle on it. So it's like here,
Here, I'll give you some to try.
like that, but you get so much angle on it.
All it really is just letting the ball, and one, I have a very powerful paddle, so I don't have to give it that much. You
Yeah.
probably have to lift a little bit more. But all it really is you're setting up your paddle angle super early like this, and almost just lifting with your legs and letting it drop off the side of your paddle. Nice.
Oh, like that?
Yep.
Kind of like that.
And now think less of lifting up with your shoulder. You're still going forward with your shoulder and you're lifting with your leg. So don't think of coming so far up with this shoulder. Instead of lifting like this, we lift with the leg and we let our arm just go a little bit more forward. So right now you're staying very much here.
Yeah.
Let it just end up just slightly more forward. Especially with yours, you can get away with going a little bit faster into it.
Yeah.
So grab the ball, I'll feed you some more.
Okay. Yeah, you're adding topspin on yours.
Yeah, and so one of the things is, when you say adding topspin, I'm not doing it with my wrist. I'm not snapping it like this.
Yeah.
If you get a high enough one or slow enough one, sure, you can go for it. But if you watch, when I get topspin, it's just my paddle's here. And I get topspin just from the fact that when this ball hits my paddle and I'm lifting up, I'm hitting from below, and it just rolls down my paddle and gives it free topspin. I'm not snapping up with my wrist. I'm not trying to come over the top of it. I'm really just letting the ball roll off my paddle.
Which is how you're so consistent, because you don't have a lot of variables.
Exactly. It's how I can be consistent with this dink.
Yeah.
I could be a little bit more aggressive. So if you dink with me, I could be more aggressive using my wrist. So
Yeah.
if you dink with me,
Okay.
I come here and try to snap it up like that.
Yeah.
But then you lose a ton of consistency doing that.
Yeah.
Now, if I get a slow enough ball or a ball I want to be really aggressive on, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But for the most part, on these kind of like middling dinks that aren't high enough for me to really do anything,
Yeah.
they're too fast for me to be really aggressive, this is a way I can be very consistent and still be relatively aggressive without risking as much. What? Nice. Hold on. That's it, just extend out even further out in front of you.
Yeah.
So instead of being here, right now you're just figuring out how much you have to lift into the ball.
Yeah.
And something to mention, this form only exists for pretty much dink volleys.
Yeah.
So this part we're just, because we need the ball to be dropping onto our paddle,
Yeah.
compared to if we let it bounce and then we're hitting it like this, there's no way to really get under it or get spin. So this only really exists when we're taking balls out of the air. Nice. Nice.
I still feel, yeah. It's like here.
Here, I'll try to get nice. Sorry. Hey, my bad. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
All right, let's go to 5.
Okay. Here we go. Zeros. Oh, I don't have a ball. Zeros.
Well, that's
Good shot. You deserved it. I popped up the dink. 1-1. Nice. 1-2. Two, two.
2-2.
Nice shot. 2-3.
Nice shot. Good hands.
3-3.
3-3.
Good point.
Yeah. Oh, I needed to attack there, do something with that one.
4-3.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Do you notice anything weird I'm doing?
Well, I think one, if we look at where you missed your points,
Yeah.
that last one was more so it's going to be a very tough ball to be that aggressive with it. You went for a very aggressive two-hand form.
Yeah.
I'd say slow it down, be a little bit more careful with it. And then two was just missing on kind of dink volleys. And that's just getting the feel for it.
Yeah.
And for example, this paddle's ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
I don't have to give it nearly as much as you do. You have to get used to how much you actually have to lift into it, how much you have to actually swing
Yeah.
compared to me hitting with this. Same way if we switched paddles, that one has more control, so I would be able to shape it a little better, but I have to actually lean into it a lot more. I'd have to be able to give it a little bit more of a swing.
Yeah. So my dink volley, or the dink volleys.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to hit topspin dink volleys. You can hit push volleys or slice volleys. People do all three.
Okay.
It's just one thing, it's just getting it more consistent to the point where you reach it out, you keep the face consistent, and you can really just lift the ball into the spot. Because
Yeah.
really, we don't ever want to miss dinks. If we're going to
Yeah.
miss dinks, we want to miss it high.
Yeah.
For example, one time I missed it relatively high, and you hit it, and I got away with countering it.
Right.
Way easier. We can trust our hands. We'll win sometimes compared to missing to the net. We lose every time.
Yeah.
Winner take all ball.
Yeah.
Fate of the universe on the line.
Yep.
Oh,
The
and I
universe
lost
is
it.
mine.
I choked it. I choked it. The pressure was too much.
Can you take a look at my dink volleys?
Sure.
Like if
Let's go.
I'll try to hit a few. Typically, I try to go for slice on them, not the topspin one that you were showing me.
Okay. So here, I'm just gonna give you a bunch in a row that you can
Yeah.
volley.
Oh yeah, you want to take this?
Because for you, until you play against someone with fast enough hands to deal with your speed up, generally most backhands that get out to your side, you're probably gonna want to speed up. Just because your backhand flick is as good as it is.
Yeah.
But especially if what's gonna start happening theoretically is this person's gonna shift here like this.
Yeah.
That person's just gonna slide over to their backhand.
Yeah.
And then if you can roll this ball behind this person or hit
Yes.
something aggressive, it's gonna be very difficult for this person to cover. It's gonna make it way easier to actually flick. Nice. Sorry.
Maybe
Nice.
the roll is actually more suitable for me versus the slice.
I was gonna say the roll looks a lot more natural, and a lot more comfortable. There's not in your slice. There's very clearly a hitch where you come here and kind
Yeah.
of stop. This
Yeah.
one looks a lot more natural for the full swing.
Okay. And it transitions very nicely to my flick.
Yeah, it's just the same thing as just here and then dropping to flick.
Yeah.
So it should make it a little bit more disguised. You could have taken that out of the air. Nice. Oh, there you go. You Okay, one thing I want you to try to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to overdo it with our wrists.
Yeah.
But I want you to give it a little bit more going into it like this. So look at my wrist position. So we're here.
Your paddle's pointing down.
Yeah, so give it a little, start it a little bit lower.
Okay.
And just this much. Right now you're being very, very consistent, very controlled.
Yeah.
I want to see a little bit more speed, a little bit more spin.
Okay.
And it's going to just be that much.
Huh.
So it's instead of doing that,
give it a little bit more.
it's just that. Just a little bit. And remember,
Okay.
we can really only do this out of the air. So
Yeah.
off the bounce is pretty much impossible.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Ooh.
fine with it.
A little bit more open. Need my big ball tube?
Yeah, we got 2 more and then we'll get the balls.
Okay.
Nice. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Here we go. I gotta get it low enough for you.
I like that.
Nice. Nice. There we go. Now we're getting a lot more spin on the ball.
Oh yeah. Wait, it's starting it down. I think before. I'll play the video back, but I think I was going like this.
I don't know if you were this extreme, but I think you were here compared
Yeah,
to now.
maybe
It's
like here.
very clearly being here to roll it. And this should actually make your speed up a little bit more easy too, because you start your speed
you
up from
start
that
low.
position anyway.
Oh.
But you're getting way more spin on this ball.
That.
I'll try to make them, we gotta grab the ball. So I'll try to make them a little bit harder and a little bit realistic.
Big ball tube, come over here, baby.
The big boy. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it transitions very fluidly to the flick.
Nice.
Oh my god, I feel like Chiron. That angle was a Chiron angle.
The full reach, I love it.
There it is. What? Pebble.
Good shot.
Aim for that pebble. All right, should we wrap it up with a to 5?
Let's do it.
Okay.
One real quick thing
Yeah.
to mention. All you really need to do is to get your angle sharper, because right now you're getting pretty good control and you're doing, for most of the time, what you'd want to do, which is instead of going super, super sharp, you'd want to go a little bit more diagonal to kind of eliminate ATPs from people.
Right.
But if you do want to go sharper, if, for example, I'm squeezing, or you want to cut it off, or you want to go just more close to the net,
Yeah.
all you really have to do is, instead of coming in like this and trying to roll it this way, is start your paddle already more perpendicular to the net.
Oh.
So instead of here, just here, and now it's going to be a lot easier to get a more diagonal shot compared to if I'm here and I try to rotate, it's going to go diagonal, compared to if I already start here, then I can get that really sharp, narrow shot.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's an extreme example of very perpendicular.
Yeah. And so you still want to have that paddle face open. You still want it to be here. It's just instead of being out here and going forward, you're out here and you're lifting forward with your legs. Oh, I got to get it lower. Nice. Nice. On. So now all it is, you have to give it a little bit more when you're going here.
Yeah.
And something to mention is, if you're really reaching as far as you possibly can,
Yeah.
the only way to do it is this way. Because look how much distance you lose on your paddle when you pull it back this way compared to
Yeah.
here. This is the farthest extended you're ever going to be.
Right.
That's why it feels like I can reach so much. I am literally having my paddle straight out from me compared to being here, where I lose almost an entire paddle length of distance.
Yeah.
Nice. Only I'm very hard for you. Oh, that was too high. That'd be a ball you'd tack 100%
Yeah, I
of the
should've
time.
checked that.
It's hard given the perfect ball. Nice. Oh, yuck.
Whoa.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. Nice.
Oh,
Sorry.
way too open.
Okay, ready?
Okay, let's
Zeros?
do it. Yep.
Here we go. Ugh. Nice. 0-1.
Oh. Blunder.
1-1.
Oh, shit.
Yuck. 2-1.
Oh, I was trying to get it wider.
2-2. Three, two.
Oh, he got it down. Good hands.
Thank you. 4-2. Here we go, Ed. Don't lose on a freebie.
Nope. Oh, that's a
more.
hard shot to do consistently.
I think a little more lift, you would have had it. Here we
Yeah.
go. One
I'm
more.
not confident in it. So I
That's
like.
true. This is your first time ever doing a new shot.
Yeah.
Fate of the universe on the line.
Okay. Yeah, universe.
One more.
I keep putting it up and put it down.
Well, I think having it pointed up is actually probably better than having
Really?
it pointed on these half volleys.
Really?
Same thing. When you have it pointed down here, one, you either have to have it completely here like this, so the angle's already there, or if you go here, it's a lot easier to scoop it.
Yeah.
And so one thing, the biggest thing really, is to really eliminate how much you're going to let your wrist activate.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'd say, really, a lot of my points in that game were hitting that exact shot where I hit hard, aggressive topspin to your backhand, and it kind of shanks off your paddle,
Yeah.
or it dies into the net. And that is going to be almost the same exact technique as if we were resetting a ball to our backhand.
Yeah.
Which is, instead of being here and trying to go fast,
Yeah.
is if you hit an aggressive ball to my backhand, I pretty much just have my paddle cocked up and I'm just letting it bounce off my paddle.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here and kind of try to hit stuff up like that. I am really just putting my paddle there
Yeah.
and letting it bounce off, and it'll reset on its own. So let me
Yeah.
dink. I'll dink very aggressively to your backhand. Intentionally let these bounce to half volley them.
I have to half volley?
Yeah, so intentionally let them bounce.
Okay.
Sorry, that was one you...
Instinctually, I want to do a two-hander
Yeah,
on
and
those ones.
that makes sense. Two-hander helps stabilize the paddle. You can also be a lot more aggressive with it. You're actually
Yeah.
doing a relatively aggressive dink back,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. And so if you can get to that position, awesome. It's just, can you do that while also being able to deal with like a normal dink rally?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, whew. And if you saw that whole rally, I was doing pretty much what you had to do, which is just, I was sitting like this and I was just letting it bounce off over and over again. I was just half following pretty much everything you did.
Yeah.
And no, I'm never going to be aggressive with it. I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to neutralize it until in a real rally, I'd look to take the next one out of the air or one that I can two-hand.
Yeah.
It's just when they do hit a good dink, I'm just sitting here and almost just letting it bounce off my paddle.
Yeah. Okay, let's get out of the sun, dude. Thanks for the session, bro. You're amazing.
Ooh.
Guys, go follow this man. He has a YouTube, Instagram. He teaches out in the desert. He's the best. The Go Chiron.
Yeah.
He'll be back. We're going to try to do this regularly. All right, say bye, Chiron.
Bye.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.